Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Danielle, aka Stitcherista here on YouTube, and today is going to be, or this video is going to be, I should start saying that because I've been putting up multiple videos in a day here lately. So this video is going to be another diamond paint with me while I continue working on Diamond Art Club Sweet Tooth by Micah Jelena. And it will be a true crime story time, but of course we will chat beforehand as always. So today is Thursday, July 15th. Tomorrow is my 5-year YouTube anniversary. Let's go, right? Yeah, great milestone, 5 years. So I did have some coffees bought for me yesterday. My very good online friend Sandra Tolan bought me 5 coffees, and she says, just wanted to say that even though I'm not a patron any longer, I'm still going to support you and the channel as much as I can. You are one of the most wonderful people I know, and I'm pleased to call you a friend. Love you. Sandra, thank you so very much. And I have a funny little story that she emailed me yesterday. She was in the airport. She is flying to North Carolina? To Sacramento? I think she's flying to Sacramento. Regardless, that's not important. She's in the airport. She's taking a flight. She was listening to the true crime story, and she had it playing on her phone, and she thought to herself, ooh, after she played it for a while, she was like, I might be playing this too loud. She went to turn it down. She went to turn it down, and she said 3 African-American gentlemen that were sitting near her was like, no, we've been listening to it. I was dead. I absolutely love hearing stories like that. So hilarious, right? And, I've heard stories from people saying that their husbands have been in the room and they don't think they're listening or paying attention. And then when they go to turn the video off or whatever, they're like, hey, I'm listening to that. There is no shortage of true crime out there, folks. So buckle up, because Bill is going on his fishing trip. He is leaving today after work and won't be back until Saturday night, probably. I don't have work today. Yeah. We're not on the calendar tomorrow yet. I am expecting a job to come in though. But I figure I may try to do more than one true crime in a day for the next couple days. We'll see. Because I can just get on here and do the story, right? I'm like all over the place with these 9s. So I also had Carol G bought me 5 coffees and says, I'm a new supporter and just wanted you to know we are kindred spirits. I watch and read the same stuff as you. I hate summer and spend my time by the pool, but not in it. Keep being real and being you. Should I start a club called I Hate Summer? I don't hate everything about it. Like at the end of a work day, like yesterday I sat outside. I like being able to sit outside on my deck, read my book, talk to Bill, have dinner out there. But I hate the heat. I hate bugs. I hate wearing shorts. I like winter clothes, jeans, sweaters, boots, that kind of stuff. I like walking out in fall when it's just turning fall and the air is crisp and cool and you can see leaves changing. And I don't even mind winter. I don't want 5 feet of snow, but I don't mind a little snow. I don't mind the cold because you can always get warm. In the summer, when it's 100 fucking degrees, you can be naked and still be hot. Yes. Yeah. Not to mention, everybody and their fucking brother is outside. I've heard fireworks in the evening the last 3 nights. Are you fucking kidding me right now? 4th of July was a couple weeks ago. Let's give it a rest, right? Yeah, and then everyone, it's always noisy. Someone's mowing their lawn, screaming, swimming in their pool, something all the time. But yeah, so I was trying to figure out dinner for the next couple nights for myself. And when we were at Costco over the weekend, I bought some of that chicken tikka marsala. I hadn't had it in a while. See, that's the thing. Like, you eat something, I ate it for like a month and then I was sick of it. Well, I haven't had it in like a month. So I'm going to have that the next couple nights. Because one packet of that, there's actually 2 packets in it. I just remembered that. That's like 4 meals for me. Because I measure it out. The portion size is like 5 ounces, I think. And it's plenty filling, trust me. Oh, and speaking of eating plan weight loss, stepped on the scale today, was 174 on the dot. I lost 3.2 pounds this week, for a record total of 25.5. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Seeing the 25 in the number on my app that I keep track of my weight loss, such a motivation to keep going, right? Oh my God, I'm so happy. Yeah. So happy. Okay. And I've been making notes for future videos because a couple of you have said what you would like to see me recreate. I may even do a Hobby Lobby shopping haul. I haven't done that in so long, and I've been trying to not spend a bunch of money. It's so easy though, right? But I am going to be done Hello Summer this evening. I only have the R to do, and I want to frame it. So I'm going to try to I may go out today. I might try to go to Goodwill and see if I can pick up some frames, or Hobby Lobby has open stock frames. So I may really go there because I haven't been in Hobby Lobby in a really, really long time. And they always have such amazing little knick-knacky stuff. Like, I want to go in there and buy all the mugs, and I haven't done a Hobby Lobby shopping haul in quite a while, so may go do that. That would be a video. And then I'm going to hit the Dollar Tree. We have a Dollar Tree right around the corner from us because I want to buy some of those bags. I went on Dollar Tree's website. It definitely is that Jot brand, J-O-T. But if you buy it from their website, you got to buy a case. I don't need fucking 48 of those bags. I would like a couple though. And they only come in red or black. But they're so fantastic for holding all of your bits and bobs for stitching. So, and then there's a highlighter I've been using. And I'm so mad when companies don't put the name of the highlighter on the highlighter. I don't know if this highlighter was from the dollar store. I know it was a gift. I didn't buy it for myself. But I don't know if it was a dollar store highlighter, Hobby Lobby. I have no idea. It's a double-sided highlighter. One side is like a small chisel tip and the other side is like a point. And I'm going to try to look for it. God, there's so many people that walk in this neighborhood. And today's trash day. Trashmen have already come. That was quite early. But yeah, I'm going to try to look at Hobby Lobby. And maybe I'll even stop at Chick-fil-A and get a diet lemonade. Because our Hobby Lobby, Chick-fil-A is in the same plaza as it. Oh, and touching on what has happened in the past few days. Miss Jessica, she deleted her comment. Coward. Yeah, that was cowardly, I think. Or she was just tired of people coming for her, because I had pinned the comment in the video. And when I went in yesterday to see if she had responded, no, she just deleted it. Well, I'm guessing, her mission was done. Pissed me off, I guess, right? Yeah. So, no more talking about Miss Jessica. But yeah, I thought that was funny that she went in and deleted the comment. But yeah, and I told my husband this morning when I talked to him on the phone, I said, it's actually not a bad thing. I mean, trust me, it was devastating to have to delete all those videos and then, but I'm able to now recreate things that 3 years later, everything I'm doing regarding diamond painting and all of that is very different. So I think today I'm going to be, in addition to this video, I'm going to upload the unboxing of the Dreamer designs that Mary bought me. And might even do how I set up my drafting table. Like what I do. yeah, that definitely, I just realized this is not plugged in all the way. Probably because I moved the light pad. Oh, for fuck's sake. Let me move that. Let me move this up a little bit. Just bear with me for a second. Okay. I don't want the plug. All right, there we go. Okay, are we back in business now? Let me see. Sort of. All right, let me move you guys down a little bit. Ah! Okay, there we go. All right. And I'll show you, because my setup for how I diamond paint and what I do now is how I do it is very different from when I first started and set up my diamond paint, my drafting table. I didn't have contact paper on it to begin with, and now I do. Okay, so I have 2 new people to the channel that joined the channel, Deborah O'Connor and Angel Heart 41. So thank you so very much for joining the channel. I cannot express enough how much it means to me that people who are patrons, who buy me coffees, who join the channel, all of that, it helps so much. I can't express. I can't. So last night when I was working on my cross stitch project, oh, by the way, I know I'm trying to keep cross stitch and it separate from the diamond painting, but I'm going to be starting a new project. I don't know if I'll be starting it tonight, definitely tomorrow. And it's not the one I thought I was going to start because I had to buy fucking floss and I don't have any of it yet. So, yeah. But last night I watched a movie on Netflix that was just released, and oh, was it hokey. It's called Lethal Love, where this mother and daughter run this cafe, and this guy, this musician, kind of like seeks them out and winds up playing at their store, like in front of their store and then in there. And you don't know his motive. He winds up having a relationship with both the mother and the daughter. Oy, yeah. It was like, the movie was like an hour and a half, and I was like, It was something to watch while stitching, right? Because we started watching The Bachelorette last night, and we finished it. We actually finished it. That's right. Boy, is that show getting quite interesting. There's only a couple weeks left. She's down to 6 people. And then we started watching America's Got Talent. Oh my God, I love that show. I love that show so much. Big Brother was on last night. I will have to catch up when he gets home because it'll be on last night and tonight and then Sunday. But yeah, I'm going to be really kicking it like with videos in the next couple days with him being gone. I'm almost hoping I have off work tomorrow. I have to like keep my expectation low, but it would be awesome if I had another day off, you know, to get stuff done and to do stuff. One video I may do is my updated diamond painting stash, because that's changed quite a bit too, because I've given and donated so many kits. And it probably will revive. And when I go through my stash, I want to do all the kits. I want to do all of them. But they take time, and I only diamond paint, you know, during the day. Oh, I ordered a floor lamp. So when I did my tour yesterday, are there any more 9s? Ooh, no. Yeah, a couple up here. I showed you the spot where I wanted to have a floor lamp, because if I ever do diamond paint at night or in the winter when it's gloomy outside, I don't like to turn on the overhead, the fan, the light there, because it's like kind of, I don't know what the word is. I don't really care for it. Okay, I think I am done the 9s now. I had a floor lamp in my, I went on eBay and I had it in my cart for like 2 months. And yesterday I pulled the trigger and bought it. It was only $47. So I told my husband, I'm like, I bought a floor lamp. He's like, okay. So I'm pretty sure it'll fit right there, and can't wait. It looks kind of antique-y. It's not as beautiful as the one my dad had bought me and that I broke. Ugh. Okay, what's the next symbol? Let's do this dash. What's that one? 30. So I finished the Carol Goodman book this morning. Oh my God, I loved it. I loved it. I loved the ending. I loved everything about that book. So I highly recommend that one. It's called The Stranger Behind Me. So my next book is definitely going to be B.A. Paris's The Therapist, because I bought the book. I forgot I pre-ordered it. Yeah. I also downloaded a book by Deepak Chopra, The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. Yeah, I'm always like reading those kinds of books. But I've been enjoying very much like the domestic suspense. And I remember when Bill had to do something for work, he had to go away for like a whole week. He was gone from like Sunday to Friday. And for some reason, this was years ago, I did not have very much work that week for some reason. And the book Gone Girl came out by Gillian Flynn. I sat outside. Now remember, we had both of our dogs still then. I sat outside all day and read that book in one day on my Kindle. All day. I had breakfast, lunch, dinner outside. Yeah. I love doing stuff like that. Like, I read a lot over the weekend I think I read 200 pages of the Carol Goodman book in one day. Yeah, I'm so glad every single day that I read. Yeah. Okay. I think I've done enough jibby-jabbing in your ears. So let's get into today's story, because today's story is also an older one. We love the old ones, right? Is it going to be fucking poison again? Like, Jesus, every single one I've read has been poison. Okay, so this one is Winnie Ruth Judd. No relation to Winona and Ashley. Oh my God, I love Ashley Judd. She's such a good actress. Although she hasn't been in anything in a while, but I love her in the movies that she was in. One of my favorite ones is called Someone Like You. It's a lighthearted movie. It's not, because most of the ones she's done are like, the one she did was Twisted. That was a scary, not scary, but like suspense. And then I also like the one, Double Jeopardy. Ooh, that was a good one. That was a really good one. Okay. George Brooker looked down at the 2 large steamer trunks sitting on the platform in front of him. It was Monday morning, October 19th, 1931. And all of the luggage from the Golden State Limited out of Phoenix, Arizona had been collected, all except these 2. George consulted his list again and ascertained that the 2 items had indeed arrived at LA's Union Station aboard that train. He decided to wait for a few moments longer before returning them to storage, because someone might still call for them. When they did, George wanted a word with him, like, why in the fuck did you come get your luggage, right? As a baggage checker, George was under instruction to check any suspicious luggage. Oh boy. This was the era of Prohibition, and bootleggers were known to ship illegal alcohol via the railroad. But George didn't think that these trunks contained bootleg liquor from the smell they gave off and the brownish liquid seeping out of them. Ew. He suspected that a hunter was transporting illegally shot deer. He had seen it done before. Ew, gross. It's seeping liquid? I don't fucking think so. So George waited until noon and was just about to send the trunks to storage when he saw a Ford Roadster backing up toward the receiving dock. An attractive young woman got out of the car, accompanied by an equally handsome man. The woman pointed to the trunks, then presented George with a baggage claim ticket for both. While this was going on, George's boss, Jim Anderson, walked over. George had earlier spoken to him about his suspicions, and now Jim informed the woman that she would have to open the trunks for inspection before they could be released. So the woman at first appeared flustered, then made a big show of searching in her handbag before declaring that she didn't have the keys, and she said her husband had them. Okay, sis. Yeah. So Jim suspected immediately that the woman was lying, yet he played along, suggesting that she phone her husband from the station house. The woman then claimed that she couldn't remember his number. What? Give me a break. The woman then claimed she couldn't remember his number and she'd have to bring him to the station personally. So without waiting for a response from Jim, she nudged her companion towards their vehicle, and a moment later they were driving away at speed. The roadster had barely left when Jim walked back to his office and called the police. That was probably smart. So Lieutenant Frank Ryan responded to the call, listened to what Jim and George had to say, and then decided to pick the locks on the cases. Based on the smell, he already had a good idea what to expect. Still, the contents of the trunks caused him to step back and release a sharp breath. Under an upper layer of clothing, the partially decomposed face of a woman stared back at him. Ooh! Can you imagine opening the trunk and seeing a woman's face? I don't fucking think so. Further down were 3 more pieces of an incomplete female corpse neatly dissected, and that accounted for the smaller trunk. And in the larger one was the body of another woman, this one left intact. Jesus Christ. Okay? Why wouldn't you have been there to claim them right away if they were bodies, right? That discovery had just been made when a janitor made another gruesome find. A beige valise, which is like a vanity case, and matching hat box had been found in the ladies' restroom. Wow, this story is so long. Thank God I'm off today. Holy shit. I tried to page through it. It's so long, so buckle up. Okay. The hat box contained a number of surgical instruments, a bread knife, and a Colt 25 automatic. The valise contained the rest of the dismembered corpse, so now the race was on to find the fugitive. The baggage claim ticket told police that her name was Winnie Ruth Judd. Winnie, what you been doing? Killing people, apparently, right? So, Winnie Ruth McKinnell, known to all as Ruth, was born in Darlington, Indiana on January 29, 1905. Her father was a Methodist preacher, and she was raised in a strictly religious household. Well, her life has certainly taken a turn. As a teenager, she showed minor signs of the mental instability that was prevalent in the McKinnell bloodline. She became obsessed with the idea of having a baby and accused her boyfriend of getting her pregnant. Accused? Wouldn't she be happy? A subsequent examination proved that she wasn't with child and was in fact still a virgin. What? Then she ran away from home, returning days later to claim that she had been kidnapped and her baby had been stolen from her. Well, first of all, there could be an examination done to determine if a woman's had a baby. Just saying. Even back in 1905 or whatever this was, later. So at age 17, Ruth went to work at Indiana State Hospital where she met Dr. William C. Judd, a World War I veteran with a morphine addiction. Fabulous. William was besotted with the pretty teenager, and although he was 22 years her senior, get the motherfuck out of here. She was 17, he was 39. Are you kidding me right now? Winnie returned his affections, though, and they were soon married. Shortly after their marriage, Dr. Judd was offered a job as the house physician for a large mining company in Mexico. The couple moved there, but it was hardly the glamorous world of travel that Ruth's husband had promised her. Still, she could have tolerated the harsh conditions if her husband would only have let her have children like she wanted, but he refused. Why? Some people just don't want kids. The first time Ruth became pregnant, he performed an abortion on her. Jesus, can you imagine? The second time she miscarried, and eventually Ruth contracted tuberculosis, and her husband sent her to a sanatorium in California while he remained in Mexico. In 1930, She moved to Phoenix, Arizona, hoping the clear desert air might improve her condition. So did she not divorce him? You know, they kind of left that out. Okay. Ruth's first job in Phoenix was with the wealthy Ford family whose neighbor, Jack Halloran, soon became a friend. At 44, Jack was handsome, rich, and charming, part owner of Phoenix's largest lumber yard and one of the city's movers and shakers. He was also married with 3 children. Fuck! What is with these people? But that didn't stop Ruth having an affair with him. No, because nobody has any scruples or morals. Good God. The amount of people in these stories that fuck around, like, keep it in your pants. Really? So, a few months into her employment with the Fords, Ruth was offered a better paying job as a medical secretary at the Grunow Clinic. There, she became friends with Anne Leroy, a 32-year-old x-ray technician, and 24-year-old Sammy Samuelson. Get the fuck out of here with that name. The 2 women shared a small duplex at 2929 North 2nd Street, a short drive from Ruth's home on Brill Street. I thought I had a diamond on there. The place soon became a party venue of sorts, with Jack usually supplying the bootleg liquor and bringing along his married business buddies, because why not? Jack also visited Anne and Sammy on his own, but if Ruth knew about any impropriety, she appeared to turn a blind eye. Yeah. If he was visiting them without her, there was hanky-panky going on. Let's face it. So in autumn of 1931, Ruth moved in with Anne and Sammy for a time, but the arrangement didn't work out. The 3 were often at each other's throats, ostensibly over housekeeping matters. Although the real reason was likely the affections of Jack. Because 3 women fighting over a man? Get out of here. But yeah. Before long, Ruth returned to her Brill Street apartment. Although her friendship with Anne and Sammy remained intact, the seeds of resentment had been sown, and soon they would begin to take root. It's probably hard to go back from something like that, right? So on Thursday, October 15th, Jack told Ruth that he and his buddies were going deer hunting in the White Mountains of northern Arizona. Ruth offered to introduce him to Lucille Moore, a pretty young nurse who worked at the clinic and was from that area. Jack agreed to meet Lucille for dinner at Ruth's house, but after picking them up, he said that he wanted to stop off at Anne and Sammy's house to say hi to a couple of friends who were visiting there. So why is Ruth introducing him to Lucille? I don't, is she his pimp now? Like, I don't quite get that. While Ruth and Lucille waited in the car, Jack went inside, emerging later with Anne and Sammy in tow. They seemed cordial enough, but as Ruth would later discover, they were seething, angry at the idea of Ruth introducing another attractive woman into their circle, because women can be petty and fucking jealous. Within 24 hours, that anger would spill over, bringing matters to a devastating head on the evening of Friday, October 16th, 1931. Nobody but Winnie knows what happened on that fateful night. What follows is her version of events, which means to me, all of the people involved but Winnie are dead, right? Because if nobody knows but her, what the fuck, right? So according to Winnie, she got home from work around 6:30 p.m. Jack was supposed to pick her up for dinner, but when he hadn't shown up by 9, she realized that she'd been stood up. 2.5 hours later, yeah. It wasn't the first time it had happened, and Ruth was angry. She decided that she didn't want to be there when he eventually did show up. So she hopped on a trolley and headed for Anne and Sammy's house. All went well at first. The 3 women sat and talked and then eventually decided to retire, Anne and Sammy convincing Ruth to stay the night. But as they sat in their beds and continued their conversation, the pleasant chit-chat turned into an argument. It started when Anne began criticizing Ruth for introducing Jack to Lucille, a woman she claimed had syphilis. How the hell you know that? Ruth responded by saying she didn't think it was right to discuss Lucille's medical history. Anne insinuated that Ruth was a tramp for sleeping with Jack while she was married. Ruth countered by calling Anne and Sammy lesbians. Wow, all the guns coming out. Anne then said she was going to tell Jack that Lucille had syphilis, and Ruth said that if she did, she would make it known that Ann had deliberately damaged an expensive x-ray machine at the clinic. God. Wow. Ruth then got up to return a glass to the kitchen, but Sammy followed her. When she turned, Sammy was right behind her, and in the next moment, Sammy pushed a gun against Ruth's chest. Thinking she was about to be shot, Ruth fought back. She pushed Sammy away from her and grabbed a bread knife from the kitchen counter. Uh-oh. This is not going to end well. A struggle ensued during which a shot was fired, hitting Ruth in the hand. Ruth then lashed out with the knife, slashing Sammy across the shoulder. As the two women rolled on the ground, another shot went off, this time striking Sammy in the chest. Then Ann joined the fray. Jesus Christ. Armed with an ironing board, What? She began striking Ruth on the head and telling Sammy, shoot her, shoot her. Okay, then. Eventually, Sammy lay still, and Ruth, now in control of the gun, staggered to her feet, and as Ann continued to beat her with the ironing board, she fired several times. Well, self-defense there. Ann collapsed to the kitchen floor and lay still beside her friends. So now we know the two women in the trunk that are dead are Ann and Sammy. With the two women lying dead on the floor, Ruth was filled with the overwhelming need to get out of the house. She dressed quickly and took the trolley back to her apartment. When she arrived at around 11:30 p.m., Jack was waiting for her. He was drunk. Ruth told him what had happened, then said she was going to phone her husband, and Jack told her not to, that he would deal with the situation. Okay. She and Jack drove back to Ann and Sammy's apartment, where they cleaned up the blood on the kitchen floor. Jack then tried to contact an associate of his, Dr. Brown, to come over and attend to Ruth's hand, but was unable to get hold of the doctor. With the crime scene now cleaned up, Jack walked to the garage, returning with a large steamer trunk. Since Ruth was by now hysterical, Jack decided to take her home. He said he would take care of the rest. He was going to put the bodies into the trunk and then dispose of them in the desert. He told Ruth to take the murder weapon with her, so take the gun with you. The following morning, Saturday, Ruth phoned in sick, but her employers insisted that she come in. She obliged, spending the day in agony due to the gunshot wound to her hand. And I guess she wrapped it up like, hey, you're not going fucking into work with a gaping wound in your hand, right? At around noon, Jack phoned and asked her to meet him in Ann and Sammy's house. And when she arrived, she was disappointed to see that the steamer trunk was still there, because she thought that Jack had already disposed of it. But Jack explained that dumping the trunk near Phoenix was a bad idea, because if the bodies were found, they would both come under suspicion, especially Ruth, who was a known associate of the two women. Instead, he had a new plan. He wanted Ruth to take the trunk to Los Angeles. Okay. Ruth was reluctant, but as Jack explained his thinking, it began to make sense. Her husband and brother were in LA, so she would have a perfectly legitimate reason for going there if she were ever questioned. Ruth did, however, have concerns about disposing of the bodies once she got to California. Jack said it was already taken care of. An associate of his named Wilson would meet her at Union Station and take the trunk off her hands. She was to leave the next day, and Jack was going to arrange the train ticket. Eventually, Ruth agreed to the plan, but she had one more question. How had Jack been able to get both women into the trunk? And he said, I forced Ann into the bottom of the trunk, and Sammy was operated on. It was the only way to make her fit. Ugh. Jack then left the house in order to arrange Ruth's train ticket, leaving her to await the Lightning delivery service, which was going to transport the trunk to the train station. But here is where the plan began to go awry. The driver refused to take the trunk, insisting that it was too heavy to be shipped by rail. He suggested that Ruth split the weight between two boxes. Panicked and desperate to get away from the death house, Ruth then asked him to move the box to her apartment. There she had the gruesome task of transferring Sammy's mutilated remains to other receptacles, a smaller trunk, and a beige valise. She tried to call Jack for help, but was unable to contact him, so she was left to deal with it alone. The following day, Sunday, October 18th, Ruth again tried to contact Jack. When he remained inaccessible, she called on her landlord and his son to help her deliver the trunks to the railroad station. When they commented on the weight of the load, she explained that the boxes contained her husband's medical books. Once at the station, Ruth paid $4.50 in excess baggage fees. I wonder how much that was then. Like, what would that be now, right? Then picked up the ticket that Jack had left for her. As she boarded the train and awaited its departure, Ruth felt relief wash over her. 12 hours from now, she would be in Los Angeles. Then Jack's friend Wilson would relieve her of the trunks and the whole nightmare would be over, but I'm guessing Wilson's not going to show up. But no Mr. Wilson was there to meet her in Los Angeles. Jack had never arranged for him to do so, if indeed Wilson ever even existed. Jack had left her in the lurch. He had set her up. When she tried to call him, his housekeeper informed her that he had gone hunting and would be unavailable for some time. How convenient, right? Panicked, Ruth turned to her brother, Burton McKinnell, to help her collect the trunks without telling him what they contained. After she was refused access to the luggage, she asked Burton to drop her off in downtown LA, and she promptly disappeared. Oh, or he promptly disappeared. No, she did. Oh, God. Within days, every newspaper in the city would carry her picture on its front page under lurid headlines like The Trunk Murderess and The Blonde Butcher. Fabulous, right? By now, every lawman in Los Angeles was looking for Winnie Ruth Judd. Yet she somehow managed to stay at large until October 23rd when she was found hiding in a funeral parlor. What the fuck? Frightened, half-starved, and in pain from the hand wound that had turned gangrene. Nice. She willingly surrendered and was returned to Phoenix to stand trial for murder, and she would get less than a fair hearing there. Right from the start, the Arizona authorities rejected Ruth's version of events, implicating, as it did, the powerful and politically connected Jack. Remember, he's a bigwig, right? According to the state of Arizona, the murders had been carried out execution style, Ruth shooting the women in the head while they slept. That's very different than the story she told. That was the version they put forward at trial, and that was the version that prevailed. Found guilty of first-degree murder in February 1933, Ruth was sentenced to death by hanging, because they didn't fucking play around then. Off to the gallows you go, right? But an examination of the evidence turns up more than a few problems with the state's case. And why they didn't do this before she was convicted boggles my mind, but okay. Firstly, experts who examined the dissection of Sammy stated that the person who carried out the cuts had surgical skills. Ruth had no such expertise. Second, it would have been impossible for a frail woman like Ruth to lift the much bigger Anne into the trunk. Third, the state asserted that the women were shot as they slept, yet no blood was found in the bedroom. Sus, right? Fourth, the mattresses were missing from the beds, and police had suggested this was to get rid of blood evidence, but Ruth did not have a car and therefore had no means to transport them. So how the fuck are you getting rid of mattresses? When one of the mattresses was eventually found miles from the scene, there was no blood on it. Still, the state prevailed, and Winnie remained on death row until a competency hearing ruled her insane. That seems to be pretty prevalent in those days, too. She was then transferred to the Arizona State Asylum, where she remained until her eventual parole on December 22nd, 1971. Okay, so she was let out. So, and even that is not the full story. During her period of incarceration, Ruth escaped 7 times. Jesus Christ. Like, have you guys seen that show Prison Break on Fox? It's older. So good. Usually staying at large for only a few days with each attempt. However, on October 8th, 1962, she walked out of the front door using a pass key given to her by a sympathetic nurse. This time, she was free for more than 6 years, ending up in Oakland, California, where she lived under the assumed name Marion Lane. She was eventually recaptured on June 27, 1969. 18 months later, she was released. They were probably like, we're fucking done with this woman, right? So Winnie returned to California, where she lived in Stockton with her dog. She enjoyed almost 3 decades of freedom before passing away peacefully in her sleep on October 23rd, 1998, at the age of 93. So that was quite the life, right? Like, at least she got, not that I condone any of her behavior, because no, but at least she got to live for like 30 years in peace, it seemed like. I mean, I think people can be remorseful and change and regret things that they did. So, but wow, that was quite the story, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, so the next story is not an old one, but I just clicked ahead. Okay, so we always end on a positive affirmation from A Year of Positive Thinking by Cindy Spiegel. Today, like I said, is Thursday, July 15th. Exactly halfway through the month of July. Today, the affirmation is entitled Choose Beauty. Focus on the beauty in life, and that is what you will most often experience. The opposite is also true. It is true. So let's take a little example. Let's say if you go out of the house thinking, I'm going to hit traffic, I'm going to face assholes on the road, you're going to draw. It's like the law of attraction. You're going to draw that to yourself. If you think today's going to be a good day, it's a good day to have a good day, right? Yeah, it's absolutely true. I think you attract to you what you experience. When things happen with work, I try to let it roll right off now, because if I get mad and irritated, then things start to happen that continue to make me mad and irritated, right? We don't want that. We don't want to be mad and irritated. Yeah. So think about what you're thinking about. Think about what you are attracting to yourself. Seriously. Yeah. Okay. So as always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I will see you in my next video. Have a fantastic Thursday. Bye, guys.